Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Hosts Show 101. I am your host, your ghost host, Wes Truth, and I'm back with another history episode. We've been moseying on down through Disneyland's Frontierland in the year 1955, all the opening day attractions. You may or may not have heard of this one. It was an exhibit called the Davy Crockett Frontier Museum, which turned into the Davy Crockett Frontier Arcade. I'm going to talk about both, and it also turned into something that you'll know today if you're a Disneyland fan. So, let's kick it off with the song, shall we? Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Let's hit it. One of the smaller attractions that opened at Disneyland was based off of a very successful mini-series. Davy Crockett was a 5-part series that aired on ABC on the Disneyland series from 1954 to 1955. It starred Fess Parker as Davy Crockett and Buddy Ebsen as George Russell, Crockett's sidekick. The show started the coonskin cap craze as well. Disney knew something Davy Crockett oriented would be a perfect fit for Frontierland, so they quickly decided on creating the Davy Crockett Frontier Museum, which opened on July 17, 1955, of course, the park's opening day. The attraction was placed to the left of the bridge leading into Frontierland. Inside was a walkthrough exhibit which included a model of the Alamo where Davy and George fought the Mexican army. Also on display were Bowie knives and Frontier rifles. A favorite of many were life-size wax figures of Davy and George based off of Parker and Ebsen that guests could take pictures with. Of course, you could also buy Davy Crockett merchandise, including the famed coonskin cap inside. Unfortunately, the exhibit wasn't too popular among park guests. After just 3 months in October 1955, the museum closed to be replaced with a more interactive attraction. In January 1956, the building reopened as the Davy Crockett Frontier Arcade. It allowed guests to play classic shooting and adventure games featuring Davy Crockett and his animal friends, like Bar Country, where you can try your skill with Old Betsy. Bang goes Old Betsy. The arcade was also Frontierland's largest store, where you could purchase furs, dishware, clothing, and other collectibles from smaller stores inside the building, like the Mexican Shop, Frontier Rock Shop, Souvenir Stand, Frontierland Hats, and the Frontierland Print Shop, which made custom headline newspapers and stationery. Davy Crockett himself would stop in from time to time for a character meet and greet. Once the early 1980s hit Frontierland, things were changing drastically, especially with the addition of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Many of the walkthrough attractions or exhibits were barely sparking guest interest. With the more high-tech and fun Frontier Shootin' Explosion right across the walkway, the arcade wasn't drawing too much attention. In 1987, the Davy Crockett Frontier Arcade closed. The arcade aspect was taken out and solely focused on the gift shop. It reopened as Davy Crockett's Pioneer Mercantile. Over the years, the Davy Crockett name was dropped, and today the shop is simply known as Pioneer Mercantile, where you can find all kinds of Frontierland souvenirs, which of course includes the Davy Crockett coonskin cap as an homage to the space. Alright, well that's all the time for this week. I'll be back soon with another episode of HitchHiking Hosts Show 101. We still have a few things in Frontierland to cover. There's a lot going on in Frontierland, evidently. Or there was, back in 1955. Anyway, So I'll be back next week with another episode of the HitchHiking Hosts Show with all the latest Disney Parks news. Subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Follow the Twitter and the Instagram at HitchHostShow. And if you want to listen to the show, or you are listening to the show, keep doing it on Podbean. It's hitchhostshow.podbean.com. And you can also download the show on iTunes and Stitcher. Until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back,
for the next episode. See ya.